So in our GoSciTech everyday chemistry class, we learned about the chemistry of the everyday materials we use, the mixtures, how to make them and how to separate mixtures. We look at colored markers. We separated them using thin layer chromatography. We separated the pigment in spinach leaves to look at the carotenoid and the chlorophyll that is in it. We also did other reactions, like we made soap and we made alloys. Alloys are made of a mixture of metals. We did many other experiments, some of which the students will be talking about in the following slides.
One of the experiments we did was extracting DNA from strawberries. We also learned about DNA, which stands for deoxyribose nucleic acid, and its shape, the double helix, with its bases, the little lines between the double helix, which compose of two units, two different chemicals, and of that there are four: A, T, C, and G, or A and T always pair up, and C and G are always pair up.
For the strawberry DNA extraction experiment, we first took strawberries and mushed them up in a bag. Then detergent and a mixture of salt and water was added to the bag. We then took a coffee filter and put it on a beaker, poured the solution into it, and let the DNA drain through, and that's how we got to collect the strawberry DNA.
For this experiment, we made soap. Soaps have non-polar chains and polar ends. This enables it to remove many dirts. To achieve this, soaps are made by reaching an oil with the base sodium hydroxide is what we use for this experiment.
We prepared the oil soap by heating olive oil to 50 degrees Celsius, and then we added sodium hydroxide solution and stirred it to form a gel. And then we added color, fragrance, and added stearic acid to harden it. And then we poured it into a mold and let it harden over 48 hours until it was complete.
We made a polymer out of Elmer's glue and boric solution. A polymer is any class of natural or synthetic substances composed of very large molecules called macromolecules, which are multiples of similar chemicals mutants called monomers. Polymers make up most of the material in organisms, like silk, wool, DNA, protein, and more.
To make the polymers, we combined glue, talcum powder, and borax. Then we combined that with water and food coloring to create a slime-like polymer.
Paper chromatography is also called thin layer chromatography. It's used to show the different pigments that make up certain colors based on the polarity.
For our experiment, we got pieces of paper and we drew dots of different colors on the paper. We put the paper in beakers of water, and then we waited for the water to rise, and then we watched as the colors separated based on the polarity. We were able to see how the colors were made out of different colors. We got to go to Francis Marion University for an experiment of extraction of chlorophyll and carotene from spinach. We filtered the carotene first, and it was a yellowish color while the chlorophyll was green. Carotene is found in many dark green leaves like the spinach. The chlorophyll allows the plants to absorb energy from the light, giving it its green color.
Flash chromatography is the purification technique we use. We got spinach and ground it up with sodium sulfate. We put silica in the bottom of the column to separate our pigments. Then we collected our carotenoid by using hexane. After we collected our carotenoid, we used acetone to get our chlorophyll.
So we distilled isopropyl alcohol, and the distillation process, a mixture of two liquids is put in a container. That container is then heated up, and the mixture, or the liquid with a lower boiling point, turns into vapor, goes up a tube called the condenser, where it's then turned back into a liquid, where it drips into another container, separating into materials.
For the experiment we separated 70% isopropyl alcohol and 30% water to get pure, undiluted alcohol. Because the alcohol has a lower boiling point, it evaporated and went into a separate container, where we then tested to see the purity of the two different alcohols by using fire. And The one that was completely pure burned for a long time.
We visited the planetarium at Francis Marion, and we learned that the stars burn helium for the light, and the constellation and the story behind them.
We tested the pH of different household substances using litmus paper. pH is measured on a scale of 0 to 14. A pH less than 7 is acidic, a pH greater than 7 is basic, and a pH of 7 is neutral. We added cabbage juice to the liquids to help test the pH. Red cabbage has an effect because it contains a pigment called anthocyanins, which changes color upon contact with an acid or a base.
We turn pennies into gold pennies. The surface of a penny is made of copper, which we then